inbound on your position.
Following the retreat of the Last Man Battalion, other factions are taking over the city. In Columbus Circle, Rikers have seized one of the anti-aircraft sites abandoned by the LMB. Now they control the entire Manhattan airspace and are taking possession of our supply drops. Take back the area.
This is your second incursion, Clear Sky. Find the best strategy to defeat an overwhelming force of Rikers and be rewarded with some of the finest loot. Conflict introduces more high-end weapons and top-of-the-line gear sets. Unlock them and try out new powerful effects to match your gameplay style. New enemy leaders are appearing all over Manhattan. Discover their whereabouts and hunt them down. Dark Zone extractions just became even more intense. Interrupt ongoing extractions by cutting the rope to have all the loot drop to the ground. Protect your loot at all cost.
Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. My name is Hamish Bode. I am one of the community developers here at Massive working on The Division. Today we've got our special report. This is a special report for update 1.2 Conflict. Alright, welcome everyone. Okay, so we get to hang out and talk about the new update that's coming next Tuesday the 24th. So that's not too far away. You guys have got a weekend to get ready, but we're going to try and give you as much information today as we can so you can get prepared. All right, but I am joined by a couple of, I think, familiar faces by now, I would think. Old Man Banchero over there.
Old Man Banchero.
Oh, it's like you're a couple of years older than me, so it's
yeah, maybe.
That's pretty much an old man.
Yeah, hey guys. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Yannick, and I am the other community developer with Hamish. And we are joined today with...
Hi, I'm Quentin. You might have seen me in the latest state of the games. I'm a project coordinator here at Massive in the gameplay team focused on coordinating the balancing of the game.
All right, very, very nice. And also, just before we get into it, we also have live gameplay today.
Yes.
So that's going to be very, very cool.
Yes,
all right, what do we need to cover before we get into that? Yannick, what's on the board for today?
So we have quite a few things we want to talk about. We want to talk about, all the things we're bringing with update 1.2. So there's going to be some balancing stuff. We're going to talk about the new open world activities that we're bringing in there, Dark Zone features also, all the new things in the Dark Zone. And of course, the new incursion, Clear Sky.
That's kind of a big part of the whole thing.
That's a big chunk. That's a few cards actually from the list here. But yeah, so let's start with balancing and changes. So there are a few things that we already talked about in the previous State of the Game live streams throughout the last 2 or 3 weeks, I think. We had the privilege of having Quentin with us, who already, gave us some of these details. But yeah, let's recap the things that we've talked about. And if you haven't seen it already, actually, we released a couple articles. We just published them an hour ago.
An hour ago, yeah.
Yeah, so it's all fresh. So some of the information we give you here, you're going to find them on the website as well.
Nice.
So yeah, let's start with loot drops. So there has been a whole path of rebalancing on loot drops. So do you want to talk about it?
If we can sum it up in one word, it will be generosity, as we said before. We want and we aim as we want the loot to be your best source of items in the game, and we want to move away from the crafting from being the best source of it. So everything we did for the loot here is giving more in terms of quantity, in terms of quality, and in all the different activities that you can do in the game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people have gotten to the end of what they consider to be what we have right now, and they get to the Dark Zone, they're not quite getting those 204s and those 240s that they maybe would expect. That's not going to be a problem anymore because we have stuff there, but not also in the Dark Zone. We've been focusing a lot on Dark Zone loot, but we have a lot of the PvE content that's coming as well. We'll talk about that and actually show it very soon as well. Yeah. So that's I'm excited about that. Yeah. More loot everywhere, doing everything.
But everywhere is the important part. That's really where our one of the aspect of the changes is that you have guaranteed stuff in specific activities, but you actually can get any type of loot across all the activities.
So
right?
so for example, with the gear sets, you know already that we have a specific gear set which is in the dark zone, which is the nomad gear set, and the other one you can get them from the incursion. We still want some specific activities to guarantee you a specific type of item, so usually a specific gear set. But at the same time, we don't want to force the player to play an activity that they might not want to play just because they want that specific gear set. So each activity will guarantee you a specific gear set or several of them, but everywhere you play, every activity you do, you will still have a chance to have any kind of loot from the game.
Nice.
It will take a little bit longer, but
So obviously loot's a big part. What are the
so
other
that's
things
loot. Another thing that we've talked about already is, so we already said that there is no weapon balancing in update 1.2. That's for later, but we are actually still doing changes, or a few balancing and changes and tweaks that are relating to combat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some tweaks on the talents, either on the weapon and on the gear. And at the same time, we are bringing some buffs to some weapons that are not the most used right now, as by new gear sets. But
Yes, and we're actually going to show those towards the end of this stream after we get to that.
And there are a few changes also, obviously things that needed to be fixed as well. So there was a big discussion regarding the sentry and the changes that we've brought there. So unfortunately, we can't just like buff everything. There are also some things that actually need to be fixed and changed. So sentry is part of it.
Yeah, well, we said that the whole idea, if we have a choice between nerfing and buffing something, we will always go for the buff. But when something is completely overpowered, we cannot just bring everything else to the same level. Otherwise, we just break the whole balance of the game. Sentry was part of that, especially with the 4-piece bonus on it. And we decided to move a little bit away the set from being a totally offensive DPS set, but more playing in a support role. Sniper support role, so that's
more tactical. I think there's,
Yeah.
and if you look at the name of it, it's obviously was always intended to be that kind of long range support.
Yeah.
DPS.
And so another thing that comes with things related to combat is the increase of the armor cap to 75%.
Yes, update 1.1 provides a lot of way for the players to increase their damage. And not a lot of way for the player to increase their survivability. So the time to kill, especially in PvP, becomes pretty low. And also with the NPC level increase, players tended to die a little bit too quickly.
Yes.
So now we will offer the player a choice. We increase the armor cap up to 75%. So of course you will have to sacrifice some bonuses to get that and reach that armor cap.
Nice.
But if you want to increase your survivability, you will be able to.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, I know what people are probably asking for. They want to see some gameplay.
Yes.
So I think we should get straight into that because we could talk about this stuff all day. But Gabe is ready to show us some of the new features that you can find in Update 1.2. This is we're going to go through some search and destroy stuff to kick things off because there's a system in place, so you guys.
Yeah,
can,
we haven't said
do
much
that.
about it. There was it
No,
was
we
just
actually
revealed in the trailer, but that's
Here we
something that
go.
we haven't talked about.
All right, so these are new things that you can find on the boards inside the safe houses. So,
So
that's
you,
cool.
you need first of all to clear a name zone of all the encounters and side mission, and then if you go to the safe house, you can interact with the board.
Good. You don't have to clear the intel,
No,
right?
no,
Okay.
no,
So
no,
right,
no.
okay.
No,
All
no,
right.
just the encounters and the side
All right.
missions. But yeah, we created that beautiful world that players really enjoyed exploring during the leveling experience of the game. But it's true that when you reach the end game, there is not much to do in the open world.
There's no reason to actually.
There
go
is
back
no
there.
reason for go there. The NPCs are lower level than you. So the whole point of the search and destroy and the high value target that we are going to show later is to bring back the player to the open world, to bring love to the players that want PvE and are not completely focused on the PvP. So search and destroy, random events that spawn in different name zones where you get to kill, find and kill groups of NPCs, so they are encounters. And each time you clear one of those encounters, you will get one token, one intel token.
Yes, and there's also something called critical zones as well, right?
Yep.
So that's
So
I don't know if we can see that on the map. Are any of these critical?
Yeah, it's just below the dark zone, in the south of the dark zone.
Nice.
So we want the player to explore the whole open world. We don't want them to just farm one specific area. So every time that you play the game, there will always be one critical safe house, where if you do the search and destroy in that area, you will get twice the intel token that you will need later on to unlock the high value targets. So it's a cool way to move around and explore the whole open world.
And so then when you clear this critical area, a new critical area is...
There is always
selected.
a critical area in the world, and every time we clear one, another one becomes
So you could just
critical.
keep doing critical stuff.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But that forces you then to really explore everything.
But
and
if
not
you-
always farming one.
But if you don't want to, then you can just explore the name them that you like the most. It will just take a little bit more time to get your tokens.
Also, I love how ridiculous Gabe's character looks.
Yes.
Nice hockey helmet, bro. That's nice.
Style.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Gabe.
That's really
So
nice.
you actually do have to do the 3 search and destroy to get the extra reward. Or how does it work?
So every time we complete one encounter, we get one intel token. But the whole idea is to clear the name zone, so there are already always 3 of them. And if we complete the 3 of them, then we can go back to the board and get 2 extra intel token on top of that.
Great.
Yeah. So
Nice.
obviously this is, I mean, Gabe's character is already pretty well geared anyway, but this is not the really challenging part.
No,
right?
no, of course not. It's pretty cool for freshly level 30 players. It's also pretty cool for advanced players that want to go and, for example, find some crafting materials over the open world, so they can do their crafting search and destroy mission and gather the crafting material around the place. But of course, that's not the challenging part.
So in the most challenging parts, because I feel like that's where we're going next, and I'm excited. What's the kind of highest gear score items that I could ever get from doing these kind of activities?
Well, generosity. As we said, generosity with tougher challenge. So there are several difficulty levels for the high-value target missions. And of course, the most challenging ones will reward you with the best loot. So either 204 high-end or a 240 gear set.
Nice. Okay.
So yes, you can get the best loot from those activities. So here, Gabe just completed the last search and destroy in the area. You will just go back to the safe house, interact with the board.
All right.
This part is also something that you can, I mean, obviously, as we said, it's not really challenging, or not really challenging.
Well,
at least
we asked Gabe to do something difficult, but he was worried that he would
he didn't want
get
to die,
destroyed on stream.
But this is something that you can play solo as well. So
Yeah, it's a pretty cool feature for solo players that just want to go around. And when you complete the 3 search and destroy in the area, you get guaranteed 163 high-end. Of course, it's probably not the best weapon for Gabe right now, but as we said, that's not the challenging part of that whole feature.
All right. So
that's also
Gabe's
something that you can definitely
heading back to the base of operations, because that's where you have to go and get the high value targets from.
Because the search and destroy is something that you can really then farm when you're freshly level 30 player, actually, because that's actually a very good way to get 163 high-end items. So that's already a good way to start gearing up.
And then at the same time, we gather the tokens, and with those tokens, we added 2 new NPCs in the base of operation. And with those tokens, which are Intel token, we can buy and unlock some contracts and go and hunt our high-value targets.
Perfect. And, here we go. We're going to see this
so
in
we're
just a
back on
second. So actually, if you walked into the base of operations and turn right, this is where you're going to end up. I think by the doggies, right? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Security wing.
And so you have 2 NPCs there now.
Yep. So we have 2 NPCs, one that offer daily contracts and another one that offer weekly contracts. The daily ones are a little bit cheaper and slightly easier. The weekly one are usually more challenging.
Come on, Gabe. What are you going to do?
So these are the high risk.
Yeah.
So these are the ones these ones you can't really solo, the high risk.
You can try it.
You can try.
You can
I think you probably could if you were patient and really tactical.
Yeah, but the high risk one are sort of one try So basically, you try it out. If you don't succeed on your first try, you will have to buy it again.
Okay.
The other one you can try as long as you want.
All right. What's
So
Gabe gonna
here we
do?
are. The iris target is here. One thing important to notice: as soon as we unlock a new contract for a kill list, there is a timer that goes off. We have a certain amount of time to go and kill that target.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And you can only pick one at a time.
Yeah, only one at a time.
Yeah. So it's not something like you're picking all of them and then you're just running around in the open world doing all of them.
I think in a way it's super cool because right now a lot of people are in the dark zone trying to run around and get a bunch of gear, but they maybe don't like the PvP element of it. I think this really caters to those players quite a lot. And for myself, sometimes I'm like, I don't want to deal with other people right now. I just want to get out in the open world.
You could do it, with farming missions as well, but it's just, I mean, until now in 1.1, farming missions was not really rewarding either. So now there is the whole new loot balance that comes with, but that gives you a choice. You don't have to farm missions. Now you can also actually do this part. So.
And still get super good gear, which is really cool.
And all the different encounters are more or less random. So basically, you will never do twice the same in a row. So it's a really cool opportunity to explore the world. Of course, you can find the main missions, but already knows them already. So it's really cool to have the opportunity to just go around, explore that beautiful world, gather some crafting materials, intels, collectibles.
So I think Gabe's trying to hunt down Bluebird.
Yep.
Right now. I really hope he dies on stream. Gabe.
Where is? Yeah, you have to.
I'll follow your.
You have to secure the area
marker.
first.
You can do it, man.
Come on, Gabe. We trust you.
Okay. So here it's level 31.
So it's not the most challenging kill list. The NPCs are here level 31.
On the most challenging ones, what level do they go up to? Is it still 32
it can
or
go
33,
up to
34?
level 32.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
And so these NPCs are actually, like they spawn when you pick the contract, right? You're not going to bump into them
No,
when you're running.
no. You have to.
You really have to trigger the.
You have to trigger the activity.
high value target.
Yeah.
So obviously 31 is not that challenging for Gabe. Oh,
No,
nice.
I know.
That was
Rashida. Is he using his M44 that he picked up earlier?
Oh
Yes.
yes, that's the
that's not a one
the
shot.
Dark Zone M44.
Yes. I asked him not to use his M1A. Although I think he's a bit sad about it.
Come on. Yeah.
Warning. Additional incoming hostiles detected.
So that's actually a pretty cool place. I don't know if there was anything else before, but that's the kind of area that we don't usually see in the main mission, and that are actually pretty
And
cool to
also,
explore.
also for all the players, that have started the game
there is
when the game was released. I mean, some of them, it might have been a while since they last explored the open world, so it's going to be nice to rediscover all these areas.
Yeah, I mean, I still haven't even cleared out a lot of those areas. So like you said earlier, this weekend's probably a pretty good time to clear those side missions and encounters.
Yes.
Yep. You have to clear, so you don't have to clear the whole world to unlock the feature. Every time you clear one name zone, you will have the search and destroy unlocked for that name zone. But of course, the more you have, the better. Oh, Gabe.
Oh no, pressure's on.
It's okay.
Here's the boss.
Okay.
And so here you get the.
So some reward, Phoenix credit, and nice, a pistol.
But 182.
182, yes, and that was not the most challenging activity. It could have been a 204.
Because this one was high value and not high risk.
Yeah.
So quite even just now comparing it to the Dark Zone right now, getting 182 weapon is the best weapon that you can.
You could get before in the Dark Zone.
In
Yes.
the Dark Zone.
Yeah.
So just doing that activity is kind of already matching what you could get there, and you don't even have to extract it. So I like that. I like that a lot. All right.
GG, Gabe.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done, man. All right. He's sweating a little bit. But
that's actually a very good transition because, you talked about Dark Zone. So
yes.
Let's.
I didn't even plan that. It's like
Come on.
That was not in the rehearsals. That's pretty good. Okay, so let's talk about the Dark Zone. So there are quite a few things that are coming in there. We talked about some of them. We showed some of them in the trailer. There was a lot of discussion. So let's go through that. The first thing is the new Dark Zone bracket.
Yes.
Gear score 200 plus.
Yep.
Tell us.
Yeah.
Come on.
That one is scary, actually.
Yeah.
So why, first of all, why put a new Dark Zone bracket? First of all, it's important to create a balance in PvP. We don't want the most geared player to have the opportunity to harass the low-level players. So a new bracket, 200 and plus, which is basically the, let's say, the gear set bracket. So for the players who are already min-maxed and geared up. So they will be able to face each other, and that will protect the low-level characters that are still trying to improve. There we are.
So now we can see Gabe, who is actually entering the Dark Zone. So yeah, now he's going to...
If he wasn't at danger of dying before, now he...
Now there's a bit more
definitely
risk,
is.
because yes, what kind of enemies should we expect
So
in
there we are, 201 and plus gear score. So he just started in the north of it, and in the north you will face level 34 NPCs. So yeah, really tough. You will have to be really coordinated with your team and be extra careful. But at the same time, the reward from those NPCs is the best reward you can have in the game, guaranteed. 204.
Guys, tech is up.
That's also
Tech is
a
up.
nice thing. So division
Gold.
tech in this Dark Zone bracket.
You will not see anything else than orange division tech in that bracket.
So only high end.
Only high end, yeah, not orange, high end. So every time you saw a green, a blue division tech before, that will now be a high end.
Yeah. In
So-
this bracket, yeah.
Hey, just for anyone who thinks that this is not live, Gabe, could you just do some jumping jacks when you get a sec?
No, just do it
Sure,
now.
in the middle of combat, yay.
All right, thanks,
Yeah,
man.
Yeah,
nice.
All right, cool.
He's just not talking. We just don't want to
All
hear
right.
him
Maybe
talk,
some
but-
maybe some people thought it was so coordinated that we had videos pre-running,
Yeah.
but Gabe's sitting in the room with us.
And we'll see what loot he gets from the boss. But yeah, so much more challenging,
Yeah.
much more rewarding for the players as well.
Yeah.
It's important for the most geared player to give actually a lot of loot, because they need to receive quite a lot of loot to find that small upgrade that they
that's,
really
yeah,
need.
that's also a way to balance it, because yeah, of course, obviously you're gonna get better rewards, but yes, since you're already 200 plus, getting the upgrade is
It's
quite complicated.
more rare.
Yeah, I just we were
So what did he?
we were planning on ending this part here, but I'd love to see Gabe try queue building, because
That was
that's
a-
always
that
Was
a
that a mod? Awesome.
We were-
So that's the
At level 32.
level
mod.
32 mod.
Yeah.
Nice.
So one thing for that
actually that is
Headshot damage.
that is like ridiculously good.
that's a pretty cool mod. But it's pretty funny. So we decided as well to increase the chance of dropping weapons in the Dark Zone, because there is no way to recalibrate your weapon, so it's much harder to find the weapon that you are looking for. And of course, by increasing the chance of dropping weapons, the chance of dropping mods actually decreased. And one more
Just to
high end.
prove,
Yeah.
and high end again. And so just about this Dark Zone bracket, also the supply drops are also providing like high end items. And
The supply drops. So in that bracket,
everywhere, actually.
yeah, every bracket above level 30 will every supply drop. Oh, there we are in QBD. Every supply drop will provide at least high-end items with actually quite a big chance of gear sets in those as well. And
All
in the
gear
north
sets or just Dark Zone gear sets?
all gear sets.
Okay, so all 8 gear
All
sets.
8, the 4 previous one.
Wait,
and
have we
new
never said
ones.
8 before?
No,
Okay.
I think
Well,
I
okay.
think
There's 8 gear sets.
they could have done the math
And that's
before.
4 plus 4. But
Yeah, that makes sense.
High-end division tech.
We're going to show those in a second anyway, so
Yeah.
So
But-
supply drops much more rewarding as well. So in the north of the Dark Zone, supply drops guaranteed high-end 204 or 240 gear set.
Oh!
Wrecked.
Don't
Okay,
I? I
goodbye,
want to see
Gabe.
loot.
Ah, come on.
Oh, no.
So yeah,
Well,
Okay.
we said it, but it's
We
more
did say this was
challenging.
difficult.
Okay, so let's move on to.
You right, man?
wrecked.
Let's
Doing
move on
okay?
to the next part. So
Nice.
yeah, now we're going to talk about hijack extraction. So
Yeah.
this was one of the reveals of the trailer,
Mhm.
and it generated a lot of discussions. People were wondering, okay, how
does that
gonna
work? Yeah.
So yeah, how does it work exactly?
So the idea behind the feature is that it did not really make sense that the agent just ran around, attached their loot to the rope, and then just leave it like there. We instantaneously lost the tension that can happen
like I
around
did
the
it,
extraction. Like there is quite a lot of tension before being able to attach the loot, and just suddenly when you attach it, it's gone. It's safe. I can die now, or I can just leave my loot behind. So we wanted to keep that tension for a little bit more time. And now players will have to protect their loot when it's attached to the rope.
Nice.
So anybody can come and attach his bag on the rope, or hijack the extraction and actually cut the rope.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. I know Gabe is pretty excited
To show
to
that.
do that. I mean, I think it's probably what he's going to do in reality as well. I probably don't consider myself a rope cutter.
Yeah.
But the thing that's amazing, and that's what we've seen already when you actually hijack the extraction, is just all the items that are on the rope just fall down.
So every item that is attached to the rope will drop on the floor for everybody else to pick it up. One thing important to say is that as soon as you push the button to start cutting the rope, you so of course all the players can actually defend themselves and prevent you from
that was the
cutting
biggest
the rope.
concern, that I heard straight after the trailer dropping, is that people were like, well, if someone tries to get my stuff
What
and
can
I try
do?
and shoot them, am I going to go rogue?
No,
That
of
makes no
course
sense.
not.
No,
So that's not going to happen. Don't worry about that. You will have the chance to defend yourself with no repercussions, which is good. Although
And that
it's
so
going to be difficult.
every time you will see something, someone. So here we are.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
there is an extraction ongoing. Gabe is not playing with his friends anymore. He just decided to leave the group, and none of them is, suspecting
Aware
anything.
of the situation.
So they are extracting.
Alright.
There's 30 seconds left, and Gabe is preparing his crew.
Yes.
Let's see what happened.
All right. I already see jumping jacks happening in the
You
background.
see,
But
so
see,
this is
it's
your
like a real
this
life
is your
extraction.
average Dark Zone experience.
This is definitely what happens.
And so we will be able to see it very shortly. But what happened when the whole loot drops on the ground? Of course, it doesn't drop in one big pile of loot. It will be spread around the whole area, and then it's actually pretty funny because the players who just cut the rope is rogue. Of course, you cannot use the same extraction to extract your loot, and you have so much loot on the ground. You cannot keep everything up. You have to choose. You have to. And there is a lot of stress going on. So here we go.
Nice.
So here it tries.
3
so
bags.
You see, you're back now. You're at 60 seconds actually for the departure time, which is also a change to give a bit more time.
And
for
you can also see
expansion.
the pushback here
Yeah.
on the.
So as long as the rogue is cutting the rope, and there we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. There's a lot of stuff.
loot.
Although it's interesting because it could actually be that someone puts a single item on an extraction as a diversion.
Almost.
Of course. Oh, you actually got someone.
So you got one of them, but yeah. So
Nice. Gouda cheese got you.
that did not really serve you well, but yeah, I mean, in situations, in Dark Zone situation, you would expect that the rogue would have probably just cleared the
died
area
before,
first,
of
or,
course.
Yeah.
But
I can
That's-
see Gabe getting some tactics down to try and.
oh yeah, there are many
people.
implications in play and ways to play. People have already talked about trying to bait rogues by actually
Just putting some green
attaching
items.
some useless items. But this feeling of this piñata exploding when you actually cut the rope is
That's pretty
it's
cool.
pretty cool.
Exactly. Also, keep in mind we're still very aware of people's reaction to this kind of feature, so we'll be monitoring it really, really closely as well. If it turns out like some things need to be tweaked, we'll definitely look at it and make
of
sure
course.
that those things are addressed because it's fun above everything, right?
Yeah.
Tension and fun. 'Cause
Tension.
tension's part
Challenge,
of it.
reward, and fun.
Yeah, it's got to be have those moments
Yeah.
as well.
So one last thing that is being added to Dark Zone is sealed cache.
Yep.
So this is a new
I love
approach
these.
to actually getting items. So what are the sealed cache?
Oh, but the stash.
So
yeah.
yeah, there's that.
So here we are in a
We
Dark
almost
Zone
didn't know
checkpoint.
this.
We mentioned it this morning, but a lot of people would have missed that. So asking this for a long time,
Yeah.
having more access to the stash. Obviously, sometimes you get a full stash and you have to deal with going back to the base of operations and taking that time out of your loop. But you won't have to do that
If
anymore.
you want to
So
stay
that's
in the
nice.
dark zone, then you can just stay in the dark zone.
So
You go
there's-
to the checkpoint.
There is a stash in every checkpoint.
Every checkpoint of the dark zone.
In the
you
safe
have a
houses
stash.
as well, or just the
Still-
checkpoints?
we still have the stash in the safe houses.
Cool.
But you don't have to like fast travel through the safe house, go back to the dark zone. So yeah, here is the stash. And what are the sealed caches?
So
then?
let's go back. Sealed cache. So yeah, this. So
So-
yeah, you see the items that have been extracted.
So those are items that can drop from NPCs in the dark zone.
Named
as
NPCs or any NPC?
any NPCs.
Okay.
But only the named one will drop items or
Yeah.
gear set ones.
Okay.
And so there is something in that seal cache, but of course
Okay.
you don't know what is
So
there.
you can see actually just contain. You see that it contains a high-end item and a range of dark zone founds
Yeah.
and division tech.
And
That's
Division
really
Tech.
cool, especially I hadn't thought about this before. That the dark zone funds, because if people are trying to find other ways to get dark zone funds right
Yeah.
now, there seems to be a shortage, and I feel the same because I need to buy more blueprints, man.
Yeah,
So-
that's also a way to get them, and also the division tech is nice.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's a new source of dark zone founds. We did not nerf the rest of the dark zone fund drops to replace that increase
Yeah, that's
in
nice.
terms of
That's
founds.
an
So a
additional
net
thing.
increase.
That's net increase of dark zone founds and division tech. So
Alright.
let's see
Yeah.
what's going on.
Okay,
What do you
well,
have?
open them now. Come on.
what you get. What you get.
Knee pads,
Knee pads,
204.
204.
division tech.
204, 3 division tech, yeah. that's
4K
nice.
DZ funds. I like that. That's the equivalent of, 10 drops.
Yeah,
of
10 drops of.
funds.
Whoa!
Whoa! What?
yeah,
And a
you-
bonus?
You can get a bonus.
All right,
as
we're
well.
gonna check that afterwards. Gabe, open the other ones.
So we
Okay,
not
we did not rig this.
we
I
did not
promise.
script that.
We were like, I hope these are other things. That's quite cool too.
That's
The
204.
covert SRS.
Okay.
And of course, there is different levels. There is different levels on the
Okay.
on the division, the seal caches, depending
Yeah.
on which NPC dropped it.
Yeah.
So it can goes up from.
But you can
100
get 240s from those.
You can get
set
to
ones as well.
40 if you.
Oh,
What?
oh no.
That's pretty cool.
Hey,
Too
Gabe.
bad you won't get to keep it.
Too bad it's not on the live environment. Oh man.
Sorry.
Sad.
Sorry. But nice. So yeah, really nice items, and yeah. And it's cool that you can get an extra one. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, it's always fun, just opening it. You don't really know what is inside. It's still a cool thing, and they are regular items, so you need to extract them. Of course, if you die, they can drop on the floor. Somebody else can take them.
Can
They
you
are
trade them?
no. If you extract them, they go directly to your stash,
Yeah.
Okay.
and then from the stash you directly open them.
Okay.
They won't go in your inventory.
Nice. All right.
That's
Okay.
pretty cool.
I'm gonna need lots of those.
Yeah.
Especially that AUG. Damn it, Gabe. Damn it.
Damn it. I think it's pretty.
He's actually quite sad.
Yeah.
All right, so we're actually going to move on because we have another special guest here. And we're going to take a little break. We're going to watch a beautiful video from our buddy Vincente Productions. This one's fantastic. We're going to chill for a couple minutes. We'll be back very, very soon with Magnus. And we're going to show you the first look at the Incursion Clear Sky. All right, we'll see you in a minute.
Agent, I am inbound on your position.
Following the retreat of the Last Man Battalion, other factions are taking over the city. In Columbus Circle, Rikers have seized one of the anti-aircraft sites abandoned by the LMB. Now they control the entire Manhattan airspace and are taking possession of our supply drops. Take back the area.
This is your second incursion, Clear Sky. Find the best strategy to defeat an overwhelming force of Rikers and be rewarded with some of the finest loot. Conflict introduces more high-end weapons and top-of-the-line gear sets. Unlock them and try out new powerful effects to match your gameplay style. New enemy leaders are appearing all over Manhattan. Discover their whereabouts and hunt them down. Dark Zone extractions just became even more intense. Interrupt ongoing extractions by cutting the rope to have all the loot drop to the ground. Protect your loot at all cost. Get 3 major expansions and exclusive bonuses with the Season Pass.
All right, that was not Vincente's video. I'm sorry about that, but we will we'll show you that at another time because it's super cool. We'll have that in the state of the game as well because he's got so many cool things. But I have you people here, and we have a cozy couch now. We have. I was like,
it's a very nice.
Can we fit 3 more people on here? It's.
There's probably room for.
No, it's fine. Very good. Very good. There's no awkward knee contact yet.
It's
it's
okay. We can get some going over here. It's fine. Magnus, welcome.
Thanks,
Magnus Jonsson.
Yes.
I'm always scared of butchering names. I haven't even tried yours. I'm
Nope,
not going to do that. Yes, lead level designer.
Yep, that's me.
All right. How are you?
Good.
Pretty good?
Pretty good, yeah.
All right, man. I really wanted to get you on today because it's always good to talk to the people who are behind the magic, so to speak. So Clear Sky has been developed in here. It's been led by Massive and your team. So we have some other teams obviously involved in that. Who else should we give shout-outs to? Who's because you haven't done it yourself.
Whoa.
Most of it.
Yeah. So obviously we have the level design team.
Mm-hmm.
Here at Massive, we have the environment art team, the props team, the audio team, and I think that's about it.
Okay.
Did I forget anyone?
I hope not,
No.
because you're going to be in trouble
You're the
tomorrow if
specialist.
you forgot someone.
I'm sorry in that case.
All right. So yes, Clear Sky is our new incursion taking place in Columbus Circle on the north side of the map. You probably have seen it pop up there. But in terms of the story, we have a new threat in terms of the Rikers. Okay. Spoiler alert, just very, very quickly. If you have not played through the campaign yet, I'm about to blow your minds. Lorraine Barrett is dead.
What?
All right. Sorry. The Rikers have got new leadership, and they're basically trying to take back the city. So what has happened? What are they doing to try and take control?
Yeah, so the Rikers have taken control of a surface-to-air missile site, or an AA.
That seems
site.
dangerous in the hands of these guys.
Yeah. And from the LMB, now they essentially control the Manhattan airspace.
That's not going to go well.
No. Meaning that any supply drop we try to send in is at risk.
Okay, so we're going to sort that out. All right, that makes sense.
So they're actually shooting down everything that just flies over Manhattan.
All right, and you see that
These
in the
Rikers.
trailer as well. Damn it, Rikers. All right, so you'll actually see that in the gameplay that we have coming up, the kind of area that we're going to find ourselves in. It doesn't start inside Columbus Circle, though. We have a bit of an approach, so we're going to show that in a little bit, well, very, very soon. From your perspective, obviously we had Falcon Lost in the last update. How would you say that Clear Sky is different from Falcon Lost?
So the main difference, of course, which should be apparent, is we're outside and we're fighting Rikers. Okay. And being outside is, of course, different because you have the time of day to contend with. You have the weather.
Okay, so that's actually going to change each time you play it.
Oh,
well, I mean, depending.
Yeah,
Whatever.
whatever.
It's really like the weather in the open world.
But the server weather will determine.
Yes.
Okay, that's cool because obviously you don't have that inside Falcon Lost.
No.
So nice. But you said a little bit earlier that it's not going to at least have the super, super deep fog, the worst blizzards.
All right, so just to ensure as good an experience as possible, we do limit the absolute worst fog.
Yeah, because that can get tricky to deal with.
Yeah, but we change the experience quite a bit, I guess.
Yeah.
But cool, you can have it day, night.
Yep.
You know, that's
we should play it at night. It looks exceptionally beautiful.
I actually don't know what time of day we have in there lined up. That's going to be interesting. So what would you say? Obviously, you work on the level design team as a lead, as you were given this task of creating Clear Sky.
Yeah. So we wanted to create something that was, that sort of challenge that feels impossible at first. Yeah. But every time you try it, every time you refine your strategy, it goes a little bit better and a little bit faster. So we've tried to avoid any artificial pauses and just let the players set the pace.
Okay, that's cool. All right, so you could take it really slow if you wanted.
If you want to.
But maybe that's not the best
On the
idea,
other
but
way.
or you can go
Yes.
quite quickly if you can dictate the pace of that. That's really nice. And I know that you work really closely as well with a lot of my buddies on the art team as well. Do you know from their perspective what have they been focused on in this kind of task?
So I spoke to Benedict this morning,
Yeah.
and he's the lead artist.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, creating an incursion it puts a lot of strain on the art because it's like a high difficulty, high pace, high intensity situation where everything needs to be. You need to flow easy through the space. You need to instantly be able to tell your friends where you are, and you need to have like easily recognizable areas.
Yeah, and it's obviously different when you're dealing with the Rikers as opposed to the LMB because they're very, very different.
Yeah. So the Rikers, they stand for chaos, like the subversion of order. So you'll see a lot of that, a lot of vandalism, and general.
It's pretty brutal as
pretty
well.
brutal,
There's, like,
yeah.
there's a lot of
It
people hanging upside down, and
it gets a bit dark with the
yeah, it's
Rikers.
pretty dark. We're going to see that pretty soon, actually. All right. Actually, I don't know, Gabe. How are you sitting outside the instance there?
They're
We can
ready. They're
we
ready.
can have a look. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So already you can see the signs of graffiti and those sorts of things, which are clear signs of the Rikers.
And also we will notice that gear score 160 actually. So the requirements for
It's the recommended gear score.
The recommended gear
That's
score.
the hard mode. So it's the same as the current Falcon Lost.
So yeah, contrary to what people may have seen in their map in the game for months now, it's not 220. It's actually
Oh, so we are
Okay.
at night.
nice.
That's the Rikers shooting down.
So we did
one
say
of
they're
those.
shooting down the aircraft.
Yeah, there you go. So that looks like where we're headed. Well, I'm glad we got nighttime, like you said. This is cool.
Our worst case scenario happened.
Very
One of
nice.
our helicopters is down. Get to the wreckage.
All right,
aim
do your
down,
thing,
and
Gabe.
Take out the SAM site before they get anyone else. I'll see if I can get a hold of the pilot.
I get a bit of a vantage point to
I can't get out of here. He's
look at the area.
Try and hang on and stay down. We've got agents en route.
Oh, yeah, this is what I was talking about before. And you were actually saying earlier that if you see the guys hanging, right? These are basically 2.0 hanging feet guys.
2.0 corpses. So they will, depending on the current weather and the current wind, they will sway more or less.
Okay, so the windier, the swayier.
The windier, the swayer.
All right, that's totally a word.
So it's all about immersion.
Nice.
Is that actually a good spot for the incursion? I'm wondering.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good at the beginning, but then you probably need to go down because if you die there, like that.
We didn't even practice this.
But so that's what we were talking about it before. But
Don't die, Gabe. Please rest, Gabe.
Gabe is asking to be raised. Help me, my friend.
Trolls.
You
Troll
actually
friend.
need to be much more mobile in this incursion compared to Falcon Lost. Like you're not
Yeah.
going to like camp one spot and just.
Yeah, obviously there are multiple strategies for Falcon Lost. People find themselves down in the pit or generators or down to the left side there. But this is an entirely different ball game, for lack of a better term. We're not going to go through the whole thing today, but so right now we're in what we would call the first
The first
'cause
combat peak.
It's a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
So in Falcon Lost, you basically get into the fight very quickly. I mean, you have a few drones to basically introduce you to the fact that there are drones. But then in this, can you take us through what this first part is in your world? What does this mean?
So this very first speed works as a bit of a like a gear check for the players. If you have a hard time getting through this, you're gonna. Well, let's just say that you won't have a particularly good time when you get to the final combat encounter. And to make people happy, there are checkpoints.
Okay, so there's a
after-
checkpoint after this.
Yes, there is a checkpoint after
All
this.
right. Okay, so it's not like you're
You
going to
don't
have to go
to
right
redo
into
the whole
You won't have to redo it.
Nice. Okay, because I know that was a big concern with people.
Okay, and they're here. They try to get into Columbus Circle. Okay.
Yeah, they're not too far away.
So what has
They're not
happened?
doing too bad.
So what has happened here is that the Rikers have they've obviously ambushed or taken the SAM site from the LMB and sort of blocked themselves in here, and we're trying to find a way to get into the juicy bits, into the circle.
Nice.
So that's why we have to blow up the entrance now to really break in.
Oh, okay.
But so obviously, since this is, as we said, the difficulty is similar to Falcon Lost, so when you're actually playing it with a team that has been already playing Falcon Lost quite a bit and has good tier score, like in this case, so this is the hard mode. So it's doable.
It's doable. Well,
Well, in terms of I think in terms of a gear perspective, it's doable, but the strategy that you have to employ inside the circle is not going to be probably apparent for people as soon as they jump in.
No, it's different.
It's
of
certainly
course.
not apparent to me. I'm going to have an embarrassing time. I mean, I kind of know what I need to do, but I haven't done it.
But that's good because that means it's kind of also an alternative for people that are just starting to play Falcon Lost and might be struggling a bit with it. They can try their luck with actually Clear Sky because again the difficulty is similar.
it plays really differently.
Yeah, because I was seeing, I was actually talking to Gabe, who's run this a few times before. Obviously in Falcon Lost, you can kind of get away with not having a tank or someone with that kind of makeup. In Clear Sky, that's not really going to be the best way to run things.
So specifically, like for Clear Sky, you really need to get your different roles in order. I mean, you need a dedicated tank. You need people focusing on like different areas and different targets. Because if you leave the wrong mob alive, you're gonna have a terrible time.
Obviously, yeah, you're prioritizing like different targets like snipers and shotgunners.
Yeah.
And like we said earlier, those level 34 shotgunners and snipers have been, nerfed a little bit, so people will be happy with that. But it's still, obviously, your kill priorities are very, very important here. All right, so we're getting close.
Yeah,
We're almost there.
just some cleaning.
You can do it. Don't die now.
I'll do.
No,
That
no.
would be fun.
I want to show people the inside of the circle.
Alright, so now it's open.
One thing that I think is extremely cool about this is that our team spent a lot of time like almost replicating this area. So if you know the area from real life, you're gonna feel right at home, sort of.
Actually, because I remember after people got their first taste of Bryant Park, especially New York natives, they were saying to us like, oh, it was really cool like to see Bryant Park, because I go through Bryant Park every day on my way to work or something. So anyone who lives in New York or around that area, we would love to hear from you on what you think of this incursion of Columbus Circle, because you probably have a very different experience of Columbus Circle than this.
Have to explain that.
Oh, yes, okay. Gabe's not stupid. Well, I mean, but he's basically just showing you that you can actually pick up medkits and grenades from this restock. Is that what's happening here?
Yep.
Nice. Gabe, you're not stupid.
Well,
all right. Okay, so
And so this is the second part of the incursion, basically.
yeah, just
where you
outside
have-
the circle here.
Yeah.
it might seem easy watching them playing right now, but it's not.
Gabe's actually pretty good.
Yeah. Well,
Much better than me.
with the gear they have,
Yeah,
they should probably aim for the challenge mode.
That's
of
true. They
course.
are geared enough for
But
challenge
right now
mode.
it's the hard mode, and here is
Alright.
the
So
circle.
somehow Gabe was not comfortable enough and was like, I don't want to die on
Yeah.
stream. I'm going to hard mode.
We'll
So blame Gabe.
we'll make Gabe stream the challenge mode.
Yes.
He's done it before. He can do it again.
He will probably do it on,
I've never done it.
Freeze
So
egg. Yeah.
people can watch me, bat my head against the wall trying to get that done. That's going to be cool. I think one of the other interesting points that we didn't cover yet is that the challenge mode is going to come out 1 week after the hard mode.
Yes.
Correct. So people don't be frightened if when you log in on Tuesday you have access to just the hard mode.
Yeah.
Challenge mode will be in the reset after that, or soon after. We'll communicate on that and let you know exactly when that's coming
Maybe
in.
with the weekly reset, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, we did promise it earlier. Gear sets.
Yeah, so let's
right.
talk about the gear sets.
Cool.
So as we said, there are 4 new gear sets coming,
Yes.
right? And you did say at the beginning a bit that like you wanted to have a new approach, or not a new approach, but like do them a bit differently
We
this
have-
time.
Yeah, we
They're
have a
definitely
new.
different.
They are different, and what's really cool about them is that they will play different, and that's the direction we want to go with the gear sets now. We want them not to be just improving your stats, which was more or less the case with the previous one, which had a lot of passive activities and buffs. We want them now to change the way you play the game. So
Yeah.
if you decide to go for a gear set, it will come with a specific play style.
Nice.
For most of them.
All right, well, we'll be able to have
Can
a look at
show
those.
them, Gabe?
Yes.
Do you have them?
All
Okay,
right,
so
here we go.
Let's spoil it. If you don't want to be spoiled with the gear sets, you might want to
Turn away now.
Which one are we starting with?
Final measure.
Striker, we know this one. Final measure. Okay, let's do final measure then.
So that's when it's we can probably call it the tanky support set. So it gives you quite a lot of exotic damage resilience. That's pretty cool if you want to protect yourself from those damn sticky bomb explosive bullets in the dark zone, or even the mortars in the different incursions. Some protection from elite to increase your survivability. And then there is the really cool force bonus, which is, so basically it works with grenades. So every time you throw out a grenade and actually damage an NPC or another player with it, you will earn a buff. And with that buff, as long as it's active, you just step inside the area of an incoming grenade, and you will automatically defuse it, and it will reward you with another grenade. That also works with the mortars in the incursion. So that's actually a pretty cool way
You can defuse the mortars in the incursion?
You can defuse the mortar with that set. But it requires, as we said, to change a little bit your playstyle, because you have to do damage with them every time you want to get the buff. So it's really a supportive tanky set.
That's cool.
But in these situations where you're actually stuck because there are like grenades that are coming your way and everything that can actually come in very
For example, during the incursion, Falcon lost how many times one of your teammates is dead, you try to revive him, and then suddenly you have the big circle of the mortar, and no, if you have the final measure set, you can just stand there and you will defuse it. That's pretty cool.
That's good.
Nice.
Let's look at next one. What do you have? Hunter? Yeah, let's go for Hunter's Face.
Hunter's Face. So that one is we could call it the marksman rifle set. And we talked about the fact that with those gear sets, we want to bring some love to some of the underwhelming weapons. So that one, we have the marksman rifle set. It's probably not the most unused weapon, we know that, but we still want that set to be designed for those ones. That's why we have that bonus on it, which gives you more crit damage for your marksman rifle and more damage to elite. And the bonus itself, so it's designed for long-range encounter. So basically, every time you land a shot with a bullet, depending on the distance where you are from your target, you will earn resistance buff. The longer the shot, the more resistance you get, and that buff will protect you from the next bullet you will receive.
Not 100%.
No, not 100%, but it will definitely increase. That can go above your armor cap.
So it's really for the long range sniper.
It's really for the long range, because that's where you will get the most of it, but it kind of works as well with mid-range, close range, but of course the protection we'll get from it will be...
so we just glossed over it a little bit, but you won't go above... You will go above the armor cap.
With that set, yes.
Yeah. So if you're already at 75% capped armor, you will still get benefit.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Got it.
Next one.
Lone Star.
Oh, that one is cool.
Oh yeah, I like
so
this.
Here you're directly now.
Give it to me.
First of all, ammo capacity, and you will quickly understand why. And then we can see in the other bonus the actually pretty big increase in LMG and shotgun damage. That's basically, I'd like to see that set as the shotgun set. And for that we need to look at the force talent on it. So what happened every time you holster your weapon, so basically every time you switch your weapon or just change to get a skill. Every time your weapon is holstered, it's automatically reloaded.
Okay.
So basically, if you run that set with 2 shotguns,
Yes.
You
Or 3
can-
shotguns.
or 3 shotguns,
Yes.
you can just empty your magazine, switch,
Boom.
get your second shotgun, empty your magazine, switch, etc., without having to reload.
Oh, that
one.
is so good.
And you get the very cool damage buff. on
And
the
you get a
shotguns.
pretty
And also that you
big
get
damage
to look
increase.
really cool because you're running around with shotguns.
Yes.
So that's like the 5th talent, I would say.
Or you can do it with 2 LMGs then.
You
'cause it
ca-
also
yeah,
has a LMG.
it of course it works with any kind of weapons.
'Cause then you can be the Rambo with 2 LMGs. You know,
Just
you empty the
unload everything.
magazine and you got the second one.
Well, because that's the thing. The LMG reload time is super long too.
Well, it's of course designed to improve your reload time for the weapon that takes the more time. So LMGs and shotguns. But yeah, you want to use it with 2 SMGs. Good for you.
Nice.
Okay, and last one. So it's a Predator.
Oh, the last one is the evil
What do we
one,
got on this one?
evil one. So
Oh, the AR
optimal
damage.
range. So that's something that I think the players start to understand in the game. I've seen a couple of comments on the community that people start to take the range into account. The range actually in our game is really important, and that will that's what actually balance assault rifle compared to an SMG.
Because you don't actually see the optimal range calculated in the DPS on.
No,
do you?
it's not. The DPS is always calculated for the gun at its optimal range. So if you want to look for it, you have to go in your stats.
So for example, like the first wave Vector has a pretty short optimal range, whereas the AUG, which is a much larger optimal, or any kind of AR, has a much longer optimal range, which is cool.
So a little bit more range for your weapons, and that one will be more the assault rifle set, because we give assault rifle damage on top of that, and pistol damage if you want to use it with ballistic shield pistol.
Well, you got to
for
bleed.
example.
You got to bleed those runners. Yeah, come on. You got to get.
And then there is the force talent. The force talent. Every time you hit 10 bullets on a target, so there is a counter, and every time you land the 10th bullet, you will automatically apply a bleed effect to that target, and the bleed effect will do the exact amount of damage that the 10th bullet did in the first place.
Yes.
The counter reset if you switch target, but that's really cool. That one is especially in the dark zone, or even with the NPCs, because you can shoot an NPC, but for example, he will take cover, so you will lose a lot of DPS because you cannot shoot him while he is in cover. But if you manage to get the bleed out,
it's basically double damage. Which is
it's
awesome.
almost double your damage.
That's cool.
That's
all right.
super cool.
I'm interested to see what people make of that, because it's going to be very interesting.
But it should really, like bring people to actually try playing with new weapons. You know?
We want them to try the new weapons. We want them to realize that the SMG might actually not be the best weapon in our game, and we are still working on balancing them for the future. But that's the first step. We want them to change playstyle, experiment with the new sets and the way to play the game.
Nice.
And of course, we want them to.
Well, I
have
rolled a
fun.
pretty good ACR, so I'm happy.
Nice.
Although I missed out on the shotgun recipes. But anyway, we digress. We're kind of running over time. I'm really sorry, people, but we've got to run off in a second. Basically now. That's the gameplay which we planned on showing Tuesday. So it's a lot more.
It's
Again,
just a few days.
Public service announcement. The PvE content, the search and destroy missions, and the high value targets. Just a little bonus, please go and clear out as much as you can, because you will only get those in the zones that you have cleared of all the encounters and side missions. So, what are you going to do this weekend? I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same.
Yeah? All right.
And get ready for the 200 plus dark zone bracket.
Yes?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Work on this gear score.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Yannick, Quentin, and Max, thank you for helping us out with the clear sky stuff. Again, thank you, everyone, for coming to the channel. We are really, really looking forward to getting that to you on Tuesday. I'll be probably doing some streaming tomorrow, so I look forward to hopefully hanging out with you and finding out what you think of the update coming up. But that is all. Anything you guys want to say before we head off?
Excited.
I am super excited to see what people make of Clear Sky.
Yeah. I think you should be very proud already.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
And just one thing, so guys, don't forget to go on the website. We have two new articles that were published today. One that actually gives you more details about the search and destroy / high value targets, plus hijack extractions and sealed caches. Actually, we are kind of basically going over the things we've showed here. And also we have a complete article about the loot rebalancing. So if you want all the details about if I kill this mob in this area, you will know exactly what you get. We've tried to be as thorough as we could. So yeah, and it's not published yet, but we can tell you patch notes will be coming on Monday.
Nice. All right. So you'll get those very, very soon as well.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're done here. Thank you very much for coming by. As always, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we hang out on the subreddit quite a bit. Whereas obviously our Twitch channel. Why aren't you following? I don't know. That's you got to find out the news this way, and all that. Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow. Gabe might play tomorrow. We'll be here again. State of the games and all that sort of stuff you can find right here. All right. Take it easy, everyone. We'll see you again very, very soon.